I do not do it for fame. I do not do it for you. I put myself through the pain. Time to start.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come in, come in, come in. This is Tamieka's Den. I am Tamieka. Get on in here, y'all. Get on in here, okay? Whew. This is Tyler Sperry's Zatima we talking about, y'all, okay? The conversation continues, all right? This is episode 7 and episode 8. Episode 7 was Trouble at Home. Episode 8 was about last night. So again, my beautiful people, okay, my tranquil claws, my, powerful ones, my quiet ones, my fierce fireflies, okay. I want to hear y'all tell me what y'all are thinking about this show so far, this series. Is there some episodes you like better than others? Are you liking the whole thing? Are you feeling the vibe? Are you liking the flow? Do you feel like we are seeing a better Fatima, a different Fatima than sisters? Or do you think we're getting the same? Are we scared that we are going to start going in another direction? Something else that I forgot to mention, because in episodes 1 and 2, I was kind of feeling like, are we going to be able to keep the continuity between these shows, right? It's hard enough sometimes just in one specific season and series for us to have a show that actually picks back up with some of the stories that they put out there. And we learned, okay, in one of these interviews recently that supposedly this is another universe, child. So now it's like we Marvel out here in these streets, okay? The Tyler Perry universe. So I wasn't really expecting it to keep a flow with sisters. To be honest, that would have been a bit much, because sisters sometimes have a hard enough time keeping the same flowing story going. I'm just saying, if we being real, that's what it is. So I didn't really expect that so much, right? The only thing that kind of ties the two is that they do still mention, Karen. They don't act like she exists. They mention the situation with Heather. They mention the whole SEC thing. This is supposed to be more so focusing on their separate friends that they have, right? And their family, I'm assuming. And I was actually, child, really wanting to see Zach and Fatima get used to living together, because we know when you're dating, that's one thing, right? And you're living in your separate places. But when you live together, you go through your different kind of getting used to each other and seeing each other in a different way, because you're now living together. So that was one aspect that I would expect, right? And seeing them with their friends, that's all fine. But then when your friends is kind of shady, it's like, do we really need them? Like, I don't know how to really say it. I just feel like there's enough different dynamics that go into starting a new relationship, building a relationship, moving in together, and just things that happen, naturally, that's unexpected in life, that we could talk about without it having to be some of these stereotypical things that we are getting. But again, it's no shock, because if you watch, most of these shows and movies that come from Tyler Perry, we know the kind of flow that he has. So, I mean, I am a fan, and I do watch, and I do like majority of the stuff, but I also do have my critiques, and I'm going to be very honest about those as well, okay? And so two things can be true at the same time. So I'm just kind of interested to get y'all feedback on that. But those parts kind of disappoint me a little bit, if I'm being honest. Like, Fatima and Zach already have a hard enough time. They already go through enough stuff, right? They already got a lot on their plate. And so some of these things just seem kind of unnecessary and over the top for me. I'm still trying to figure Miss Angela out, because to me, she plays both sides of the fence, and I'm kind of 50-50 on her, right? Belinda, as far as I'm concerned, you could just throw her completely in the daggone trash. I have no use for her. I have no respect for her, and I just hope that Fatima's not going to still deal with her at all, okay? Just keeping it real. But nonetheless, at this point, we had Fatima really pissed off after seeing that picture. Of course, she's ready to leave. She wants to go and stay by Angela. You got Angela calling Bryce and telling him, well, I think you better drive slow, okay? We trying to get up out of here, and I don't want y'all to get here, before we leave. But, of course, they do get there, and they meet up outside, and she's headed out the door, and Zach is like, oh, did you leave your keys? And, of course, Fatima's like, excuse me, what did you say? All right. and they arguing back and forth, and they just both end up pulling out, their phones, and he's able to show her like, yeah, you was with, Ian, and she's able to show him, yeah, you had Deja dancing on you, right? They both kind of like, gotcha. And then it's like, oh, well, is that why you did all of this? Was this supposed to be a tit for tat? Did you think you was hurting me because you thought I was doing something there? And she finally tells him the truth and lets him know about the cancer. And I think he says something along the lines like, yeah, everybody has cancer, okay? Mind you, he's still pissy drunk. And then she's basically thinking that he has sex with Deja because of her seeing some damn glitter on his pants, right? But we know that the glitter is basically just because she was dancing up on him or whatever, right? So they're basically both making assumptions about something, and both are wrong at this point, right? And now Fatima gets to Angela's house, and they're having this conversation where she's like, I know Zach didn't do anything, but he still pissed me off the way he went about it. I'm still mad at him because of the way that he, did, like, decided to go out to that party and act the way that he acted off of what he was thinking about the whole Ian situation. And Angela's kind of saying to her, well, do you think if Bryce wouldn't have showed up, it wouldn't have been more? So this is why I say Angela plays both sides. But then at the same time, she's kind of saying like, well, girl, I told you so. I told you to tell the truth, and you didn't. Maybe if you had told him the truth, then all of this different stuff wouldn't have happened, right? And then Fatima's like, I get it, but that doesn't excuse his behavior, right? Which it doesn't. She's absolutely 110% right about that. And so then, she was like, it don't make it okay or whatever. And they agree on that basically, right? And so Zach is basically still trying to drink, even though he drunk as I don't know what. Bryce gets to stop him, helps him upstairs or whatever, right? And he's telling him to sleep it off, but Zach is like, no, I want to get in the shower and all this different kind of stuff, right? And at the same time, he's thanking Mr. Bryce again for being there for him, right? And Bryce basically helps him to get undressed, to get in the shower, whatever, right? And then we have a weird moment where, again, this is reminding me of the whole Jake situation, because if we remember in Sisters, it wasn't very specific, but it wasn't where we couldn't notice it either, where Jake seemed like he was giving off a bisexual vibe, like he might be interested in, Zach for more than just a friendship, okay? And we even had him made a comment one time where it was like, yeah, maybe me, you, my girl and your girl could all get together, like if he wanted them all to have like a little menage a trois thing going on, right? And so this is why I say they literally put a replacement Jake inside of here with Bryce, okay? And he's like, if he got turned on by Zach, and then when he leaves from there, he goes home, he's basically trying to get it in with, Miss Angela. He coming in hard or whatever, and she basically ends up giving him a damn blowjob in the daggone kitchen. And I'm like, okay, that was interesting, I guess, right? And then Zach is trying to see if he could stop Deja from moving in, but Valerie's basically telling him like, no, it's too late, you can't do nothing like that. That could end up being in a lawsuit, if she brings up the whole situation with her being, a dancer, whatever have you, then it could be like, it's biased, and it could basically cause you more problems, right? And at the same time, of course, he is trying to still try to hit up Fatima or whatever the case may be, because he still want his relationship with her, whatever, at the end of the day. And we have Fatima just letting, I'm sorry, I'm trying to look at my notes. Okay, we have Fatima just saying like she want to get the rest of her stuff out of storage, she want to get whatever she got to get from Zach. She's like ready to move on. And we do know that we see that side of Fatima, where she gets stuck in her ways, her mind gets set on something, and she like, nah, I'm out of here. I ain't gonna be messing around no more. I wanna just move on now, and I'm I'm saying, now with the bull crap and all of that kind of stuff, right? And at the same time, Belinda ends up busting in, and says Fatima's acting like a fool. And Fatima's like, what? And Belinda's basically like, I told you he wasn't shit. And she's still trying to go on with her story. And it's like, nobody want to hear from you, girl. Nobody believe you. Like, that just whole scenario, I'm over it, okay? And Jeremiah pops back up, to Zach, and he's saying, he had got 10 years and Zach had got 3, and he thinks that Zach is basically doing something illegal. That's how he got everything he got. But we all know, Zach is doing the right thing. He's got his stuff together now, right? And he wants $10,000 from Zach, right? Just like a family member to pop up and want something and think that you owe them something or whatever, right? And so Zach was like, 3 years and no word from y'all. None of y'all was acting like y'all cared about me. None of y'all was checking on me or whatever, right? And now that I got something, everybody want to be like, oh, you call your mama, call your brother, this, that, and the third. Jeremiah's wanting to tour around the house and all of that kind of stuff. And, Ian mom had basically called Fatima and was saying like, oh, I'm so happy that you're gonna be there for us. So apparently, even though Fatima told Ian dead straight in his face that, nah, I'm not gonna be doing anything like that, he must have told his mother the complete opposite, and she's asking her if she could come by and all of this different kind of stuff. And then Fatima basically gets back over by Zach and sees that Deja's moving in, and Deja decides to come and introduce herself. Of course, Fatima's recognizing her, from the picture, and Deja saying like, oh, nothing ain't happened last night and all of that different kind of stuff. And then Fatima goes in, and Jeremiah is basically reintroducing himself to her, and Zach tells him to leave, like he want to go ahead and talk with Fatima. And he's talking about, can I borrow your car? Like, who borrows a car? Zach is like, hell no. Well, can you give me a ride? No, get your ass up out of here or whatever, right? And Zach tells Fatima that he didn't know about Deja being a stripper, right? And that, all of this took place after the fact, and he had rented her the place, and Valerie had set it up. Like, he finally just tells her the full truth, right? And Fatima's mad at him for jumping to conclusions about Ian, which again is understandable, right? And then she wants him to try to get rid of Deja, but he's basically explaining what, Valerie told her, and that he can't. And so, he's like, I'm going to have to at least let her stay for, I think it was like a 6-month lease, right? So I said, well, at least it's only 6 months and it ain't a damn year, right? And Fatima was saying she don't trust her. None of us do. At this point, she feels like, well, if something comes up, and let's just say she don't have no money for rent or any type of situation, that she may be like, oh, well, I could pay you in something else, okay? And so Zach is basically still trying to get her to stay and trying to see where their relationship is going to be like. And she's like, I don't know. We'll see. Oh, well, can I take you to dinner tonight? Maybe. Oh, well, can I get a little something later? Oh, no, now you're going, too far. You pushing it or whatever, right? And so Zach goes to the gym and he's boxing with his friends and all of this other stuff. And Tony, like I said, has now did kind of a U-turn from when we first was meeting him, where he's like, I could see this is real. I could see you're really into her. You're serious about this. The fact that y'all trying to go out and have dinner and y'all making up and y'all having these conversations this quick, that's not how you usually are. And so he's kind of seeing this as a plus and saying, I could see this is the real deal and you really love this girl and care for her. Whereas Nathan is the complete opposite. He's mad about it. He thought that was going to be the end of it. He was going to drop her. They was going to be done. He can't believe that they making up type of thing, right? And Nathan doesn't really believe the cancer story or whatever either, right? Everybody seems to be skeptical when it comes to that. And then Zach, basically does say he's out, and he calls Fatima, and she does agree to dinner, right? And so in the meantime, Fatima's having lunch with Angela, and she mentions Deja moving in and all of that kind of stuff, right? And she thinks that Fatima is getting... First, Angela thinks that Fatima's getting put out for Deja, and she has to kind of correct her about that and let her know, nah, that's not what's going on, right? And then also lets her know about the conversation that she had with Ian's mom. And, Zach basically gets the the keys and all the paperwork and stuff like that for the business with Bryce. And Bryce basically seems to say like, oh, I'm going to be in this too, showing him all the different offices. Now he want to be a part of the business as well. He want an office too, but he's saying that, he's going to go half and half with him on the rent and do all this different kind of stuff. Again, Bryce is Mr. just jumping right into it, seems to be at every corner ready to help with every damn thing. But he's still saying he's also going to work with Gary too, but that's going to be something completely different and separate. It's not going to have nothing to do with the business that they have together. And he also basically asked Zach, like, is he bisexual? And Zach is like, nah, I'm not bisexual. I don't get down like that. I have nothing against anybody that is, but that's not my cup of tea. I'm into women. I love Fatima. Like, that's that on that. And so Zach basically gets dressed up in this suit and he ready to go on this date with Fatima, okay? Deja's out here sunbathing. He trying to sneak past, but of course she ends up seeing him anyway or whatever, right? And she's like, oh, you want to see the place? Oh, you need to come in. He's saying no. Then she going to talk about something wrong with her sink. She got a leak. Can he fix it? Like, just trying to make up, whatever different excuses to get him in there, right? She's saying here licking her lips and all this other extra stuff. And then she tells him about meeting Fatima, but at the same time, she like, oh, I don't care. Like, she wouldn't have to know about us type of thing. So Deja's already getting on my nerves at this point. Like, girl, they was acting thirsty over you. Like, Zach friends was acting thirsty over you, and now you acting thirsty over him, knowing he got a whole woman that lived there with you, and Fatima would be outside shooting her damn gun at you next, girl. Like, sit your behind down somewhere, right? So he leaves to meet Fatima, whatever, and they sitting and they talking, saying they gonna be honest with each other, whatever the case may be. They asking each other about what their friends think of each other. And of course, well, Belinda, we could just throw her out the damn window, like I said, but Angela seems to like him just fine. And then from Zach, and it's Tony that likes her, and Nathan that doesn't. So they each got that one friend that's, not feeling the other one or whatever, right? And in the meantime, the whole time Zach is talking to her, she busy texting. And then Zach kind of asked her, like, why do you always do this pull back thing? Every time I'm more in it and I'm trying to, like, lay everything out on the line, you be pulling back or whatever, right? And at the same time, Fatima texting. So it's like, girl, who you texting? What's going on? Now, all of a sudden, Ian walks up while they damn eating. Apparently, he's supposed to live over the place. I said, child, who don't live around each other or on top of some type of business or wherever y'all go? Like, y'all need to start getting some other places, okay? It may not be the Bahamas or France, but y'all can still go somewhere else. Y'all killing me with this, all right? And Ian decides to tell Zach, like, treat her good, make sure you do the right thing, saying how he messed up and how, he thought he was getting something better, but he made a mistake with that. And long story short, Zach is pretty much like, child, listen, I ain't got the issues you got. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to mess up in that way. I know what I got, and I don't need you to tell me type of thing, and basically tells him bye, right? And so when he stands up and puts his blazer on, Fatima kind of stands up too, thinking that I guess he was about to bounce out of there, right? Like he's ready to leave, but in all actuality, he was putting on the blazer to get down on his one knee, child, and be like, with this ring or whatever, and say, will you marry me? Now, I don't think they need to get married, if I'm being honest, y'all. I think we going too fast. I think we moved in too fast, and I think we are going too fast with asking about marriage. Y'all just finished going through this whole situation where obviously y'all don't trust each other fully. Y'all still getting to learn and get used to living together. It's like one thing at a time. Why do we have to rush through every daggone thing? Okay, of course, she's shocked to see him down there. We don't know what her answer's going to be yet. But I don't think they need to do that. And that's the one thing that the friends were saying that I actually did agree with. And even when Fatima was like, okay, I'm still going to keep my stuff in storage. I'm still going to hold on to my place just in case. I thought that was actually very smart of her. It doesn't mean that I still don't root for Zatima and I still don't like them together, because I absolutely do. I mean, first of all, that's what made them be able to get the show in the first place, because we like their vibe, we like their chemistry, we like to see them loving on each other. Like, I love it, I love it. But I don't think that you have to jump to all those things just yet before y'all get kind of just more used to each other, meet more of y'all family members and friends, whoever's gonna be that y'all gonna have in y'all life, get used to the dynamic, find out what's going on with Karen and her baby, find out what's going on with Heather and her baby. Like, y'all got a lot of other stuff to deal with, before y'all say I do. All right. And so that is basically what I'm thinking about it so far, y'all. Okay. I'm up to date now. The new 9 and 10 come out tomorrow, and I can't tell y'all when exactly I'm going to talk about that one, but it'll be coming soon. Okay. So y'all just tell me y'all comments, what y'all thinking about it. Like I said, what you like, what you don't like, what you think they could do better. Put it all in the comments. Let's discuss. Okay. Like, comment, share, subscribe. If you were so inclined, give me a wave. Let me know you came by. Put some flames up in the sky. Till next time. Toodaloo.